Hey guys, Jockey-san here, and as you all know, the Summer Maru banner dropped just a few days ago, and looking at a few of the room matches, it looks like a lot of people pulled for her, and I also suspect that people pulled for her to use her in the upcoming Leo Cup Champions meeting. However, if you're thinking of doing this, and you're trying to build a strong Summer Maru, I'd like to give you guys just a taste of how much work it will take to make her strong. So, if you have trained frontrunners already for the last Champions meeting, you know that you need to meet the following requirements to consider your ace not glue. You need, of course, your 3 relevant green skills and groundwork to get into the lead early race. And the big problem with that is that unlike Saiyan Sky or Smart Falcon that come with green skills in their kit, Summer Maruzensky has no green skills readily available to her. However, she is so strong in this cup because of her unique. It gives a 5-second increase in target speed when activated and only requires you to be 3rd place or higher, and have triggered a recovery skill during the race beforehand. She does come with a gold recovery skill that will activate early into the race, but she has no mid-race skills in her kit that are relevant to this cup, other than fast-paced, which you can get in her career. This means you have to build the correct parents to consistently inherit your entire kit in order to not waste time on your runs. And unlike other running strategies, like Late Surger or End Closer, wit will matter much more in order to proc your skills. Failing to proc groundwork or a recovery skill will kill your ace during a race where Nice Natures and Agnes Tachyons will run rampant. Lastly, you will also need to inherit uniques such as Redshift and Angling and Scheming in order to get that last corner acceleration in order to close out that race. So I yapped a lot about describing what you need in order to build Summer Maru, and I don't want to give you the impression that I'm telling you to do these things without actually trying them myself. Here is what I would call my wall of glue. I have done about 50 parent runs, and I have only produced about 5 somewhat passable parents. This is more than enough because I can borrow a god parent 3 times a day for my ace runs. However, I don't think I can produce parents of high enough caliber to use without borrowing. But my efforts haven't gone to waste. I have been able to produce 2 quite strong yet gambly front aces for this cup. I'll be testing them out in room matches for a future video, so please subscribe and like the video if you enjoy the content so that I can continue making videos for all of you. Okay, now that you've heard what it takes to build Summer Maru, and you would still like to go ahead and try building her yourself, I'll go over some cards that I use for my parent runs. This is the current deck that I am using for my parent runs. I know it's not the most optimal deck, but I'll explain why I use each one and offer you alternatives if you want to use something else. Just know that when you're doing parent runs, you want to run at least 1 strong speed and 1 strong stamina card, because when you're doing so many parent runs, you want to make it easy on yourself to clear the career. Usually, I find that getting my speed, power, and stamina to over 600 and learning some skills to help my parents win races is the easiest way to reduce any chances of failing career goals. First, I use Nishino Flower SR Power card as she gives 2 relevant green skills for the CM. She also has a very good hint frequency, and I found that I can reliably get all of her green skills during my runs. Next, we have the Air Groove SR Guts card, which gives groundwork, and as much as I despise this card for giving me hints for every single skill but groundwork, she is sadly the most reliable card to get it. Then I have Matikane Fukukitaru SR Wit card, which gives right-handed, and although she gives only 1 green skill, I rate her so highly because she is basically guaranteed to give right-handed as part of her chain event. If you want to use this card in your ace runs instead of your parent runs, consider choosing a different card to get over this one. For speed cards, I run a King Halo SR Speed, as she gives firm conditions. However, I would definitely run a Narita Brine SSR Speed card over her, as she gives much more relevant skills to the cup. Sadly, I do not have her at enough limit break. For my stamina slot, I run a Super Creek SSR to make sure I hit enough stamina to clear the career. An alternative would be Manhattan Cafe or Mayano Top Gun, as they both give non-standard distance. However, I'm not too sure if they offer enough stamina stats to pass their career, especially for harder Umas such as Mihono Bourbon. Additionally, an even better card than all of these would be Satono Diamond SSR, which gives many skill hints relevant to the Leo Cup. I don't have her at enough limit break, but Major Palmer Guts SSR is really good for Leo Cup. She gives so many good skills, having 3 relevant green skills, and 2 good mid-race skills is insane. She also gives Lone Wolf and Frontrunner Savvy as part of her chain events, so they're very consistent to get. I also borrow Yayano Mutaki SSR Power, because she gives so many good mid-race skills that are useful, and she also gives them at max hint level, so if you get a skill hint from her, she will never give you the same skill hint again. I find that having skills like Playtime's Over, Tail Held High, and Ramp Up can be the key decider to whether or not you stay in the lead. Other honorable mentions are these cards. I do not use them in my deck as I found their skills to be too inconsistent to get, or they're just flat out better cards to use over them. Anyways, am I missing anything? Let me know in the comments down below and I'll correct them for a future video or comment on them. Now, before you jump into making a parent for Summer Maru, or any other frontrunner, make sure you use the Affinity calculator. It would be really unfortunate to create perfect parents only to find out that the affinity is terrible and you end up inheriting next to no sparks. Summer Maru has generally very bad affinity with other Umas, and you have to be quite selective with the parents you choose. Mihono Bourbon, for example, is an amazing parent for Summer Maru as she gives a flat-out 30 affinity bonus. Saiyan Sky doesn't have the best affinity, but she is mandatory because of her unique. Running her as a direct parent will guarantee that your Uma gets angling and scheming. If you run Saiyan Sky as a grandparent, make sure that you have her unique spark at least 2 stars or more, or else you run a high chance of not inheriting angling and scheming. One skill that will be quite time consuming to inherit is Redshift. You will have to achieve this by adding normal Maruzensky as a grandparent. However, this will provide 0 affinity to the score if your Uma is Summer Maru, making it notoriously difficult to inherit Redshift on her. Well everyone, that concludes my guide on how much preparation and work you'll need to do in order to build Summer Maru for this upcoming Champions meeting. In a future video, I'll be testing out different ace builds for her and seeing what works and what doesn't work. Please comment down below if you have pulled for Summer Maru and let me know how you plan on building her. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next video.